FiveEvil. Fiendish 5e horror.
Hello. It is me, Morgan Davey, designer of FiveEvil, and I'm here to talk about making a FiveEvil character, and I'm very lucky to be joined by my friend Brad Zimmerman. Brad, hello.
Hello. Exciting to be here.
Oh, thank you so much for making time to come and create a character. We're going to be figuring out how characters work in this game as we go, so shoot any questions that come up my way and we'll figure it out. But I think the best thing to do probably is to just dive right in. Well,
it wouldn't be horror without jumping into something that you're not prepared for.
Exactly. So in FiveEvil, the characters, they look a lot like the kind of characters you would encounter in other 5e games, except they are missing a lot of bits and pieces that you might be familiar with, and they have a few other things. But the starting point is going to be pretty familiar, I think. Before we can start making the character, though, we need to know the setting that we are stepping into, because you always design your characters in FiveEvil to suit a particular situation, a particular storyline. It's something that it's kind of essential to make sure that the characters are really tied up in whatever the unfolding horror is going to be about. So for this particular character setup, we're going to be using a setting that is provided in the core book as an example. There's a few examples in that core book. This one is the Isolated Research Station. So when a GM's going to be setting up a game in the Isolated Research Station, they would make some choices about it, or sit with the players and together make some decisions. But in order to make this process go pretty efficiently, I'm just going to say it is a station that's in the it's in the Arctic Circle in the north, and it's a scientific research station up there. And it's very, very cold, and it's run by scientists who have got funding from some mysterious corporation that I'm sure is not going to go wrong in whatever horror unfolds. So let's start out like that. And
straight away, love the vibe. Like right away, getting John Carpenter's The Thing, getting the season 1 episode of the X-Files, Ice. Like both of these two pieces of media just jumped straight into my head as soon as you introduced that. And I'm firing on all cylinders. So
brilliant.
Let's get in.
Excellent. So I think the way that we should do it is probably follow the order of operations that's given in the core book. The core book does say that you can jump around and do things in any order, but I just follow the manuscript's procedure, which says that the very first thing that we want to talk about is the description of our character. So every character in FiveEvil has one, usually two little descriptions. They're like little phrases that sum up something about them, and those phrases also have a little bonus that's attached to them. So they're kind of like a general all-purpose skill that sums up the kinds of things that they can do. So in the setting document, there are a list of 20 example suggested descriptions, starting at grouchy specialist and heading on down to a cynical terrain expert. So if you cast your eye down that list, Brad, see if any of them jump out at you as someone that you would like to be for this particular character. Or you can, of course, change them or make up your own.
Yep. Alrighty. So, they're all so good. Like I like the wide-eyed intern quite a lot, because to me that is very fish out of water. But also like they might surprise you in some kind of way. Like they have this like different point of view from the rest of the people at the station. They have a much less experience than them, but that also might mean that they're coming into the situation with fresh eyes. They might be less jaded. They might be younger. They might be sort of more physically capable.
Perfect.
But weirdo comms operator. That's great. Poetic software expert. No, I don't know about that one. Let's see. Let's go with. Let's be the wide-eyed intern. Why not?
Excellent.
I'll play it quite young too.
Yeah, cool. So you would be a wide-eyed intern with a bonus of +4. So that's the baseline description bonus. So whenever you do something in the game that fits into being a wide-eyed intern, you'll get a +4 on that role. It's probably going to be important to add a little bit more definition about what that wide-eyed intern's actual skills and know-hows are. So we'll come down to those in due course and add a little bit more detail to what that wide-eyed intern is really all about. But for now, we have one description to go on. Now, there's also going to be a second description. We've left that one blank in the setting document because we want to let people kind of come up with another little descriptive phrase that they can use to talk about another aspect of the character. Often, your two descriptions will be like your job and your hobby. So some kind of second aspect. You don't need to make a call on this one right now. It might be something you'd like to circle back to later on once we have a better idea of who this character is. But is there any other aspect of this character that has immediately jumped into your head?
Yeah. I'm thinking young, very fresh-faced, like still in university, not prepared to be in like such a remote place. Like certainly, like 10 years at least less experience than everyone else there. Very much the baby. So looking up to the others. So very, and I guess reverence of the brain power of everyone else around him. So, just respectful of the hierarchy and very low status.
Oh, excellent. I'm not sure how to turn that into a positive description at the moment, but you've given us a lot of amazing personality details that we can leverage for all of those kinds of things. So let's just sidebar the description bonus, that second one for now, and we'll step on down to the next thing, which is all those personality aspects that you were just talking about so brilliantly. So
would unassuming be a good positive thing, or underestimated?
Oh yeah, I like that. Underestimated is good. So what kind of thing would he be good at? Like, is he maybe good at smart problem solving? Good at physical stuff? What is some kind of positive aspect that he might be strong at?
Ooh.
How did he get here?
Yeah, but that's a good question. Maybe the university sent someone as a term or as part of the funding that they're giving. Is one of the conditions is that they have to send a student along to so the university gains some educational benefits from the work that's being done.
Yep. Yeah, cool.
But that's how we got there.
I love it. So you could, as well as being a wide-eyed intern, he could be kind of an adventurous student or like an organized member of the team, something like that. So some kind of really positive thing that he can bring to the expedition, something that he would have written on his application form. Send me down to the send me north.
I'd say super organized. He wants to impress. He wants to hit the ground running and sort of join the big boys, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so, his way of doing that is to come with all the T's crossed and all the I's dotted. So he's extremely well prepared.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, super organized.
Still in over his head.
Yeah. So there's a wide-eyed intern. That's one, and super organized, well prepared. That's second description. That'll be his +3 description. Those are two fantastic descriptions that will lend themselves to a bunch of different kinds of roles. Brilliant. Okay, so now we need to nail down some personality aspects. These are quite important in FiveEvil. They're similar to the ones that you have in other 5e games, but often you don't use those other ones terribly often. You sometimes will tag them because they might give you inspiration in a game. In FiveEvil, what happens is when things get hairy, you start accumulating desperation in order to try and get yourself out of trouble. To get rid of that desperation, to shake it off, you kind of revert to all of these personality things and put them into the game and shake off that desperation. So you end up doing this stuff a lot when you play. So there's 4 types. There's a habit, there's a belief, there's a flaw, and then there's kind of a key motivational relationship. The habit, belief, and flaw are going to be pretty stable for a character over time. The relationship kind of changes from week to week, month to month, depending on what's going on for that character at that particular time. Now, there's some examples to inspire us in the setting document, and you've also riffed a whole bunch of cool stuff already for this character. So do you have any suggestions for any of those 4?
Habits, let's go with a classic habit. So this one's not on the list, but just always biting nails.
Beautiful. Yep.
Which, if you're wearing gloves in a cold environment, that you're obviously going to have to find some kind of some kind of alternative.
Yep. Yep. That's brilliant. Great. So what about a belief, a core motivating belief that is going to be driving a lot of his choices and actions?
It would be either 1 or 6 from the list. So either the research is deeply important, just because that leans into that's what they're studying, it's why they're studying, it's why they're so excited to be part of the project. Or the other one at the other end of it is every problem is solvable if you find the right angle, which is quite an optimistic thing, which you don't often find in horror.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do sometimes get that, and that could be part of the wide-eyed aspect as well. So I think I'll go with that one. Is that the reason that that they studied this is because they've got a scientific mind and they want to solve problems. They realize everything can be solved if you look at it the right way, and that might come up in some horrific situation.
That's fantastic. Cool. Flaws, obviously a very fun thing to play with in a horror game, is making things worse for everyone, including yourself. Any of those stand out, or do you have any ideas?
Oh, yeah, none of those are kind of what I had in mind. Those are very cool though. Like reliably too loud that's just gold. That's horror fodder right there. Like the person who just cannot shut up, and so they're the first to go. Increasingly unwilling to go outside. That leads to like this whole cabin fever sort of situation. What about being too reverent of those above me? Like I have too much trust in the people who are there, to my own detriment, where like I'll believe anything they'd say because like these are amazing scientific minds and I'm just lucky to be in their presence. So they could tell me the sky is made of candy and I'd, wow, did you just discover that? Like that's incredible.
That's fantastic. I love that. I absolutely love that. So that also kind of feels like it might inform what you would choose for a relationship one. So this will be, usually it's a particular individual that you would have a particular relationship with. This character is obviously very focused on people higher up in the hierarchy, so you could double down on that and codify one of those, or you could do something completely different and have maybe there's another friend around them, or it could be, again, something different like someone back home that they're thinking about for whatever reason. Over to you.
Yeah, I'd say the head researcher, the biggest dog in the kennel, is the intern essentially thinks of this person as God. This is who I want to be. This is the person who makes everything happen. I don't think there's actually a relationship there. Like the head researcher doesn't even know intern exists. So it's very much a worship from afar kind of situation.
Amazing. Cool. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's very, very
Sorry,
good.
I didn't even look at the options there that time.
Well, you didn't need to. You've been developing such a strong picture of who this character is. You're well set up. Brilliant. Okay, so we've now got a pretty solid sense of this character's nature and their style and the stuff they do. It's time to put some numbers down in some boxes. We want to come up with ability scores for this character. It's the standard lineup that you will know from other 5e games: strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. How we're going to generate them, we'll use the random roll method. In FiveEvil, you roll 3d6 for each one. Well, you'll roll 3d6 7 times, and then you'll take one of them away and assign the other 6 wherever you want. The one that you're going to take away is not the lowest one that you roll. You have to keep, you're stuck with the lowest number that you roll. The second lowest you can chuck out. So come up with 7 numbers, and then we'll figure out where they go.
Okay, so 3d6, 14.
Yep.
13. 12. I see a pattern here.
Yeah.
11. Yeah,
Oh my
okay.
Lord.
5. It's a 3, a 1, and a 1. And 12. How many was that?
That was 6. One more.
14, 13, 12, 11, 5, and 12 again. Last one. 14 again.
14 again. Well, I can see why this wide-eyed intern might have been picked, because these are some pretty high numbers in the standards of FiveEvil characters. Except for that number 5. So we're crossing out the 11. The 11 goes, but you've got a 14, a 13, a 12, and a 14. So plus 2s and plus 1s. You're good at everything except for one area. And one area you are notably bad. What's that one area going to be? Do you want to start with that, or do you want to allocate the others first?
Part of me wants to make that start. I think starting with the lowest one, because that's the only outlier of the bunch. They're all sort of in that mid-high range. I'm torn between low charisma or low strength. So part of me is leaning into that whole cliche of like the nerd being like very smart but very weak. Oh, I'm smart, but my body doesn't do things well. Yeah. Or the other one of like, I'm socially awkward, I have no charisma. All my brain power gets used on academics. So I might go with that one. It's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason.
So are we going with the low charisma?
Yeah.
All right. Given that you've come up with a character who is so focused on building relationships, you've created a really interesting dynamic with that.
Yeah, he wants to create relationships. Doesn't mean he's good at it. Yeah. It's just what he wants.
Oh, amazing. Cool. Well, the others are all kind of in similar ballparks. So you've got those 2 14s, which are going to be your best 2 scores. Where do you want to put them?
Yeah, I think Dex and Int. So he can move quick, and he does have a smart brain.
Nice. Cool. And we won't worry too much about the distinction between a 13 and a 12, because it mostly doesn't come up. And that would be for your strength and your constitution and your wisdom, all getting +1s there. So that's handy. Cool. All right. Ability scores sorted. Next, skills. So you've got 2 descriptions. Those 2 descriptions are, first of all, that you're a wide-eyed intern, and second of all, that you are super organized and well prepared. Under each of those, you're going to choose and mark skills from the skill list. The wide-eyed intern is going to be associated with 2, and then you get another 1 associated with being super organized and well prepared. The skill list is similar to the one from other 5e games, but there are a few differences in there. Some of the skills have been shifted around to match up to different abilities, and there's an entirely new one in the mix as well. So strength is associated with athletics and intimidation, dexterity with agility and stealth, constitution is with grit, that's the new one, that's how you put up with bad and unpleasant stuff, and survival. Intelligence is investigation and knowledge and recall, which is kind of just a general ability to know stuff and bring it to mind at the right time. Wisdom, insight, perception, and charisma, deception, persuasion. I think in the setting list it has, am I looking in the right one? Yeah, wide-eyed intern is suggested as stealth and investigation as the two skills. That doesn't seem like at all a match for the way you've described your particular one in turn. So ignore those suggestions, and yeah, but how do you reckon you'd like to put them?
I think so. Hang on, let me go back over that. Just bringing up the character sheet. So yeah, stealth and investigation. Definitely not stealth. Knowledge recall, I think. So, and one of the intelligence-based ones, and perception, just knowing what's around, whether you can do something about it or not. But yeah, just being able to notice what's around and just keep tabs of your surroundings.
Cool. So those are two skills that you are particularly good at. Obviously, they're going to be a big part of your kind of experience as an intern, but you can use them anywhere and everywhere because they're skills. So they're just good general use things. Super organized and well prepared. One more skill that you could pick associated with those.
Super organized and well prepared. Maybe that would go into the survival.
Yeah, that's a really good shout, I think.
Ready for when things hit the fan.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So you now have your three skills sorted out. As well with your descriptions, you can choose a couple of what are called know-hows. I think we'll just skip that for now because often I find that's the kind of thing that it's good to add in after you've been playing for half an hour or so and you've really got a feel for the character in the situation.
Yeah, I love games that do that leave a little, let's fill this in once you've actually embodied the character a little bit and sat in the setting. Yeah, that's the right call. I love when games do that.
Yeah. So just like the skills, the relationship of the know-hows to your descriptions, they're just things that you are definitely able to do because, of course, there's lots of stuff that's associated with being well prepared. There's lots of stuff associated with being an intern, but there's going to be a couple of things that you particularly definitely have. They're going to be written on your character sheet, so you can always rely on that as something to lean on as you go. These kind of come from the place where proficiencies exist in normal 5e, where you'd have kind of armor proficiency and various weapon proficiencies and things like that. Trying to do a proficiency list or tool proficiencies for the modern world is just, I had a go and it was, it started to be a very long list very, very quickly. So we chucked out that idea and we're taking a kind of a more narrative approach that's embedded in the descriptions. Cool. So we'll leave that gap sitting there and let me go back to my list of things to do. Is that the end of it? I think that might be the end of it. We might have a functional character, except for what is remaining as a gap on this character sheet. Hit points. Is that the only thing? I think that might be the only thing that's missing.
Yeah, so, hit points, notes, and suffering is all that's there.
Yeah, so hit points, first of all. Your hit points are equal to the middle of your 3 physical ability scores. So you've got strength of 12 or 13, and you've got a dexterity of 14, and you've got a constitution of 12 or 13. So this is actually one of the cases where the 12 or 13 might be relevant. So your hit points are going to be either a 12 if you had a 12, a 14, and a 12 for strength, dexterity, constitution, or a 13 if you had a 13, 14, 12, or yeah. Does that make sense?
So what I've done is 12, 14, 12 for those 3 physicals.
Okay. So in that case, the middle one is going to be a 12. So you've got 12 hit points.
Cool.
Excellent. There's also a little note there for something called wounded. You get wounded if you take half of that hit point total in one hit. So if you take 6 or more hit points in one hit, then you're going to be wounded, and that means that you're just kind of hurt and you can't get better from that point, and you stumble around the place and hope that someone can help you before things are going to get even worse.
Yep. Is this geared almost entirely towards one shots? And so the assumption is that you wouldn't level up. You would, like, that 12 is permanent, as a permanent max. Like, you wouldn't go, oh, I'm only 12 now, but after a few adventures, I'm gonna have 40 hit points or anything like that. Like, that 12, that is what the character is. That's all they'll ever be. And they're only going to get weaker after that.
You're quite right. Your hit points do not go up. There are rules in the book for kind of long-running campaigns, and the same character experiencing kind of a single long horror, like imagine one of those doorstop Stephen King books that takes a long time to journey through, or like a movie series where the same character comes back and has to face the alien monsters again a second time in the second movie, and then in the third movie. The hit points are going to stay the same.
Or a Laurie Strode. I was trying to think of a repeated hero in a horror series.
I think in many horror series, the pattern is that the hero of the last movie does come back, and then they kind of die in the first 10 minutes of the second movie. Their return, it doesn't usually go well for them.
They pass the torch.
But yeah, you're stuck with those hit points. There are other things about your character that can get better and can change, but your physical well-being is basically stuck where it is. Everyone in this game just doesn't have enough hit points to wander into any scary situation with confidence, and they never will.
No, I love that.
Brilliant. I guess we're done, Brad. This is fantastic. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful to meet your wide-eyed intern, super organized, well-prepared, bites his or hers, their nails, every problem solvable. If you find the right angle, they trust an authority maybe too much, and they really want to get to know that head researcher, which is a tricky problem for them because they have a charisma score of 5.
Sweet. I'm just trying to think of a name as well in my head. Darcy Brackenmeyer.
I love it. Darcy Brackenmeyer. It's been brilliant.
And always introduces himself. Yeah, always introduces himself to people with his full name, whether they care or not. Like, even at the supermarket, are you having a nice day? I am. My name's Darcy Brackenmeyer. Like, I don't care. Just take your bread and leave.
Now, of course, the problem, Brad, is that I desperately want to play a game where Darcy Brackenmeyer is in there because I want to see him in action, and hopefully we'll be able to organize something like that soon, because you are a fantastic person to play games with, and I would love to do that with you. You're also, and I just want to make sure I do call this out, you have made your own amazing game, D12 Go, which is a game that uses a whole lot of D12 power, 12-sided power, to cover all kinds of genres, and it's really, really awesome, and it's available in all the places. So anyone who watches this, do look that up and check it out. It's special. It's good stuff.
Yep, it's in the places. I'm not going to shout it out. We're here to talk about FiveEvil.
Oh, thank you. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm just going to say thank you once again. And is there any final words from you?
No, just other than I'm excited for FiveEvil. I really want to get my hands on the final product. I love horror as just a genre, and in all types of media. I've never successfully played horror in an RPG setting because I'm too much of a silly person, and so running horror is just not an option for me because I turn everything into silliness. But I think what I've seen of FiveEvil so far is that it takes a lot of the work of making sure it fits into that horror genre and stays in the horror genre. It does a lot of that work for you, which for people like me who always veer into silly town, like, I need that and I appreciate that. So I'm stoked. I'm really stoked that this is coming.
Great. What an amazing endorsement. Thank you, my friend. All right, we will sign off. Bye.
All right. Bye.